So you should be on page 230. We're going to do the talk about it together. We will do one problem from the independent practice, and then you will be on your own. Okay, number 1. How would you model 2 times 38? Smith, how would you model 2 times 38?
You would draw 3 tens
10
columns.
10 rods.
10 rods. And 8 ones cubes
Carla, hand down.
twice.
Carla, hand down. Remember, when your hand is up, you're not listening to what we're talking about. Okay, I'm sorry, Smith. Can you say that again?
You would write 3 tens columns, or 3 10 rods, and 8 ones cubes twice.
Good. So first we would model which number?
38.
38. And you told us model 38 as 3 10 rods. Make sure that when you write 10, you're spelling it out because we're naming the 10 rod. We're not talking about the number 10. So you would model 38 as 3 10 rods and 8 ones cubes. Make sure you spell out ones too. And then, Smith, you told us to repeat it twice. Why are we repeating it twice, Smith?
Because the problem is 2 times 38.
Good. So we always model which number, Smith? Which factor?
The larger factor.
The larger factor, and the smaller factor tells us what?
How many times to do it.
How many times to repeat it. Good. Now number 2. How would you model 4 times 52? Zari.
You would take the 52 and you would do 5 10 rods and two ones cubes and repeat it 4 times.
Good. So first, we model 52 as 5 10 rods. Remember, we're spelling out, we don't have to spell out 5 because we are talking about the number 5. But we are going to spell out 10 because we're not talking about the number 10. We're naming a 10 rod. And 2 ones cubes. Same as with the 10 rods. We can use the number 2 because we are talking about the number 2, but we're going to spell out ones because we're not talking about the number 1, we're talking about an item that is named a ones cube. So model 52 is 5 10 rods and 2 ones cubes. Then repeat it 4 times. And you can use the number 4. You can spell it out, but you can also use the number 4 because we are talking about the number 4. Because, Zari, which factor do we model?
52.
Well, which factor, no matter what the problem is, which factor do we model when we're multiplying multi-digit by one digit? The greater factor. And the smaller factor tells us what?
How many times we do it.
How many times to repeat it. Very good. Okay, so that helped us with the model. But that didn't help us too much with the process. So once you're finished with that, turn to page 231. And I think, you know what, I think we're going to do number 3 and number 4 together. So go ahead, because there is some space, but really not enough to make it neatly. We're going to go ahead and we're going to show all our models on a separate sheet of paper. So while you're waiting for everybody to finish writing the answers to numbers 1 and 2, and while you're waiting for me to get the computer ready, go ahead and get out your first sheet of clean paper. Write, let's see, math, IP, pages 231 through 232, and today's date. So you're going to label your separate sheet of paper as Math IP for independent practice, page 231 through 232, and then today's date, which you can do to the side, but I don't want to take up some of my space.
Today's date.
October 30th, 2020. So this should be at the top of your clean page. Remember, where should the holes be? Class, where should the holes be?
On the left.
On the left.
On the left. If you're not sure which one's the left, look at your hands, make L's. Which one is backwards?
Right.
That's your right. The one that makes the L the correct way is left. Your right hand has a backwards L. So that means the one that makes an L correctly is your left hand. I still have to do that to this day. Some people just cannot remember quickly which one left and right is. That's okay. I am one of those people. I don't know why. So you'll notice when I'm trying to figure out which one's left and right, I do this. Whichever one makes the L correctly, I know is my left. So there you go, people who struggle with that. I do too. I don't know why. So I have to do left. Okay. Cullen, which one did we model first?
17.
The larger factor, which was 17. How did we model 17?
1's 10's rod
1 10 rod
and 7 1's cube.
and 7 1's cubes. What does our smaller factor tell us to do? Do we draw 2 1's cubes?
Nope.
No. What do we do with our smaller factor?
How many times we model it?
How many times we repeat? So we had to repeat 17, 1, 2 times. Thank you, Cullen. I forgot. Everybody get out 2 colors of colored pencil. So we just finished modeling 2 times 17, so we're going to get out our 2 colors. And what do we do next? Let's see. Michaela, you weren't here yesterday, so. Mason, what do we do next? After we model the multiplication problem, what's always the next step? Once it's time to solve. You got it, but I can't hear you. I have to count how many 1's cubes. So Mason, do it with me. Everybody do it on your own page, but keep up with us. Stay at the same speed as us. So Mason, let's count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
So how many 1's do we have?
14.
Can I put 14 in the 1's place? No. It's got 2 digits. I can only fit 1 digit in each place. So what do I need to do, Mason?
You need to circle the 1.
I have to take how many 1's? 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10. Ooh, so I got to do a little bit of a squiggly circle. And what do I do with those 10 1's cubes? I make them into a 10 rod. So I'm going to take these 10 1's cubes and I'm going to make a 10 rod. Remember, I'm using different colors so that I can see. What should I do to these 1's cubes to make sure I don't accidentally count them again? I'm going to cross them out. Not all my 1's cubes, just my circled ones. Now what do I do, Mason? So I have to count how many are left, right? And so let's count how many 1's cubes are left. This is where it's so important to be neat, because if you're not neat, you may have accidentally crossed this one out and then you didn't count it. And are you going to get the answer right? No. So make sure you're neat. Okay, Mason, everybody count on your own page, but keep up with Mason and I. Let's count what's left.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Anything else? Can we fit a 4 in the 1's place? Definitely. So let's go ahead. We know that we're going to have 4 1's in our answer. Thank you, Mason. Carla, what do I do next?
The next thing you're going to do is to find the tens.
Find the tens. I'm working with a different place, so I'm going to go ahead and get my other color. And Carla, what am I going to make sure that I do not do? That I do not miss?
We need to make sure to do not forget to count the one you made.
Good. I have to make sure that I don't forget to count the extra 10 rod that I just made. Remember, I did that twice yesterday. So we have to be sure that we're not making a mistake and missing that, because if I forgot to count that, I'd get 2. Would I have the right answer? No. So Carla, let's count our tens. Everybody count on your own page, but follow along with Carla and I.
1, 2, 3.
3. We have. So how many tens do we have?
We have 3 tens.
Can we put that in the tens place?
We can.
Definitely. So that means I put a 3 in the tens place. Very good. What is my next step? Zadie. Carla, don't forget to mute yourself. What should I always make sure to do? Even though I don't have any hundredths, what should I make sure to do? Check for hundredths. Zadie, do I have any hundredths to count? No. Always check for hundredths, especially if you start with a 2-digit number, because just because you're multiplying a 2-digit number, does that mean you're going to get a 2-digit number answer? Not always. We saw a few times yesterday where we ended up with a 3-digit answer. So just check for hundredths. But Zadie, do we have any hundredths? So are we done? Yes. So class, 2 times 17 equals what?
34.
34. Very good. Okay, let's do number 4 together. Then you're on your own. How do you feel about it so far? It's not a difficult concept. It just takes some time. When things take time, what do people like to do? When things take time, when they take a little while to do, even if they're not hard, what do people sometimes like to do? Zadie? They like to rush through it. Because they're like, this isn't hard, but it's taking forever, so I'm just going to go really quick. And what happens when you rush through something, even when it's not hard to do? Mason? Well, you make silly mistakes, which can cause, it could cause anything from just, you could have gotten a 100, and because you went too fast, you got like a 92. Or it could cost all the way to like, you could have got a 100, but you made so many silly mistakes that you got an F. That can happen. So just because something's easy does not mean we should rush through it, ever. Because even easy concepts, if you rush through, you make lots of silly mistakes. Does everybody understand? Okay. Number 4, we have 4 times 32. So you found the answer on your separate sheet of paper. Make sure to write it on the math book. Write it on the line in the math book. So don't forget to do that when you're doing your homework. Don't forget to then take the answer and put it on your math homework page, okay? Don't forget to do that, because I'm just looking at your extra sheet of paper to make sure you understand the process. But where am I looking for the correct answers? Victoria? On the homework page. And your independent practice page. I'm looking for the correct process on your scrap paper. I'm looking for the correct answers on your math book page and your homework page. Okay, number 4, we have 4 times 32. Ethan, what's the first thing that we need to do? Well, first of all, let's go back to our extra sheet of paper. You can draw like a squiggle underneath number 3, and then put number 4 to the left of the pink line, and always make sure to rewrite the equation that you are solving so that you don't make a silly mistake and remember the equation incorrectly. So we're back on your separate sheet of paper. Draw a little squiggly line. Give yourself some space. Mason, it's okay. Just go ahead and grab it. Okay? I'm going to erase. You're not. I just want the extra space. Okay, Ethan, what's the first step when we are modeling multiplication with base 10 blocks? can't hear you. I can't hear you. Louder, like you're yelling.
You do 3 places in box.
So I model my larger factor, which is, come on, just don't worry about it.
3,
What's my greatest factor? Not 3. Is 4 greater than my other factor? What's my greater factor? Is it 4 or 32? Remember, digits are not factors. Digits are each individual piece. We have the digits 4, the digit 3, and the digit 2. But we're not worried about the digits. We're worried about the greater factor. That's the whole part. We have 4 and we have 32. Which one is greater, Ethan? 32. So we have to model that one. How do we model 32?
30. You do 3 base 10 blocks.
3 base 10 blocks could be any size. Which one do we do? 3 of what?
3 of 2.
3 of 2. Ethan, remember we have our base 10 blocks are the hundredths flat, the 10 rod, and the ones cube. So to model 32, we draw 3 of what? Which block? Who can help them out? 3 of which block? Carla?
10 blocks.
10 rod. So which one,
10
Ethan?
rods.
We draw 3 10 rods. 1, 2, 3. Now, did I model 32 yet? Am I finished modeling 32, Ethan? No, I only modeled 30. So how do I model 32? What do I do next? 2 ones cubes. 1 and 2. Okay, so I modeled 32. Am I done, Ethan? No, because my smaller factor tells me I need to do what? Do I need to draw 4 more ones cubes? No, my smaller factor tells me to do what? To take 32 and repeat it 4 times. So I've got 1. Make sure to give yourself space between the models so you don't accidentally combine them. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm being very neat about my base 10 blocks so that I don't get them confused. Okay, so now I have modeled 4 times 32. What do I need to do next, Kingston? I just modeled 4 times 32. What do I need to do next? Loud, I can't hear you. Count the ones. So I'm in a different place. So I'm going to take my ones color and I'm going to count the ones. So Kingston, count with me. Everybody make sure that you're looking at your paper, but you're keeping up with Kingston and I. So you're counting at the same pace, but instead of counting up here, you're counting on your paper. Okay, you ready, Kingston? Make sure that you're counting on your separate sheet. Ready, Kingston? Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So how many ones do we have?
I've only put 3.
Okay, we'll erase one quickly. But how many ones do we have? See, that's why it's, so he caught his mistake, and that's fine. We all make mistakes. We just have to make sure that if we make a mistake, we're checking so that we can catch it and fix it. So Kingston, how many ones do we have? 8. Can we fit 8 in the ones place? So do we need to regroup here? No. I can just write 8 in the ones place. Okay. What do we do next? Victoria. We count the tens. I'm in a new place value, so I'm going to take my tens color. I'm keeping my ones and tens color the same every time. That's a little more helpful than changing it up, because then you always know, okay, my blue one is an extra 10, my green one is an extra something. Okay, Victoria, let's count the tens. Everybody else, count with us, but make sure that you're on your own paper. So you're counting your 10 rods, but you're counting at the same speed as Victoria and I. Okay, you ready, Victoria? Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
12. So we have 12 tens. Can we put 12 in the tens place? No, we can't. We can only fit one digit in one place. So what do we have to do? What's that word? I forgot. I should have said that word. What's that word that tells us what we have to do? Regroup. And when we regroup, we're taking how many 10 rods? We're going to take 10 rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm only circling that one, not the whole group of 10 rods. And what do I need to do with each of those 10 rods, Victoria?
You need to cross the line.
Well, before I do that, what am I doing with those 10 10 rods?
Making it into a hundreds flat. Making it into a hundreds flat.
We're turning it into a hundredths flat. Okay, now what do? So I regrouped, I took my 10 rods, and I turned them into a 100 flat. Because I know that 10 rods is the same as 100ths flat. So what do I do now, Victoria? What do I need to make sure that I do before I start counting so I don't accidentally count too many?
You need to count the tens one more time.
Well, what do I need to do to make sure that I don't count what I've already regrouped? What should I do? Cross out the ones I regrouped. I'm only crossing the ones out in my tens color circle. And I'm being very neat to make sure that I don't accidentally cross out ones that are not circled. Now what do?
Now you count the rest of the tens.
I count the tens that are left. So everybody count on your own page, but keep at the same pace as Victoria and I. Are you ready? Okay.
1, 2,
1, 2. So how many tens are left?
2.
Can we fit that in the tens place?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Okay, thank you, Victoria.
Oh wait. Hundreds flat. I need to count that.
Thank you, Victoria. Aaron, what should we always do after we count the tens?
See if we have any hundreds flat.
See if we have any hundredths flats. In number 3, we didn't have any hundredths flats. But what about now? We do have a hundredths flat. So we always check, and then once we know we have one or not, what do we do, Aaron? Once we know if we have a hundredths flat or not, what do? We count how many we have. So everybody count on your own page, but keep at the same pace as Aaron and I. You ready, Aaron?
Yes.
Ready, everyone else?
Yes.
Let's count the hundredths flats.
1.
Can we fit 1 in the hundredths place?
Yes.
Definitely. Maybe we should check for thousands, just to be sure. Do we have any thousands, class?
No.
No.
Oh.
So that means that 4 times 32 is what, class?
128.
128.
128. Okay. How do you feel about it? Everybody head down. We're going to do a vote. Girls at home, yeah, you can put your heads down too. Make sure that if you raise your hand, you put it in front of the camera so I can see. We're going to vote. Here are our options. We can do one more together, or you can just do it on your own. So if you would like to do one more together, raise your hand. If I see you peeking, I'm not going to count your vote. Hands down. If you would like to just go ahead and go on your own, raise your hand. Hands down. Heads up. Okay, we had one more vote for doing one more than we did for by themselves. So let's do number 5 together, and I think this will be a good one together because what do you notice right away that's different about these two? Does anybody notice something that's different about this one than in this one? Kingston?
The number that kind of like, there's one, there's like 10 at it. Well, what I'm trying to say is, in the 44, pretty much the same, you put the 2 in front of the 4, and add 2 to that 2.
Okay, well that is an observation, but not quite what I'm looking for. How many places did we have to regroup in for numbers 3 and 4? How many places did we have to regroup in numbers 3 and 4? Smith?
1 place.
1 place. Here we had to regroup in the ones place, but not the tens. Here we had to regroup in the tens place, but not the ones. Well, what do you notice about this number? Just by knowing your basic facts. Carla?
That we need to regroup 2 times.
We're going to have to regroup in both places. So let's do that one together. Number 5, 3 times 44. What is the first step? That's me. So everybody's going back in. Michaela, do you think you're comfortable getting to do a step at some point? Okay, so I'll put you back in. But probably while we're doing this, I'm going to have you go out in the hall and watch yesterday's lesson and do yesterday's lesson in the hall. Okay? And then when you're done with that and you've done it all, you can come back and work on this, and then you can finish it over the weekend. Okay, number 5. Victoria, what's the very first step? We have to model 3 times 44. Which one do we model, 3 or 44? How do we model 44?
Well, first you have to write the
Oh yes, on your separate sheet of paper, you write number 5 and then 3 times 44 equals. I hope everybody remembered to move their answer to number 4 from their separate sheet to their book. Okay, so we've just done that. So now we're ready to try to solve. So first we model 44. How do we model 44?
we write 4 10 rods.
4 10 rods. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
And then we write
4 ones cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
and we write that 2 more times.
So we have to repeat it 3 times. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Remember, I always go back and count. Make sure I have 4 10 rods each time and 4 ones cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now what? Oh wait, sorry, somebody else. Sorry, what do we do next?
We count the ones.
We count the ones. I'm working in a different place value, so I'm going to take my blue ones color. Okay, Zari, count with me. Everybody else, count on your paper. 1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
We have 12 ones. Can we put that in the ones place, Zari?
No.
No, so we have to, what's that word that tells us what we have to do?
Regroup.
Regroup. How many ones are we going to take?
10 ones.
10
out of
ones.
12.
Make sure you're paying attention and following along. We're going to take 10 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoops. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. And what do we do with those 10 ones, Zari?
You make it into a 10 rod.
We make it into a
Into
10
a 10
rod.
rod.
Okay, what should we do to make sure that we don't accidentally count the ones we regrouped?
You're gonna put an X over it.
I'm going to cross them out. Only the ones I regrouped, not the ones outside of the circle. Okay, Zari, what do we do next?
We count the ones that we have left.
We count the ones that we have left. How many do we have left, Zari? Everybody count on your own page, but keep up with Zari and I. Ready, Zari? Okay,
1, 2.
we have 2 left. Can we fit 2 in the ones place?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we're done with the ones. What do we do next? Michaela, we find the 10s. What do we need to make sure that we don't miss? The regrouped 10, our new 10. We have to make sure that we don't miss that like I did twice yesterday. We have to make sure that we don't skip it. Are you ready, Michaela? Okay, Michaela, count with me. Everybody else, count on your paper. But make sure that you are going at the same speed. I've also got my green 10s color. Ready? Okay, Michaela, let's count. Count on your own page and I'll follow you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1,
Oh, we don't start again because we're counting them all.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Oh, should I have any extra? Should I have any more than 13? Because I had 3 groups of 4, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then my extra one, which was 13. So if you have too many, make sure that you fix it, okay? Make sure that you've counted the right amount. So I have 13 10s. Can I put 13 in the 10s place, Michaela? No. So what's that word that tells me what I need to do? Regroup. How many 10s am I going to take? It's the same every time. I never take more or less than this number of any place. Can somebody, Colin, help her out?
10.
10. I never take more or less when I'm regrouping. So how many 10 rods am I going to take, Michaela? 10. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm taking that group. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm taking that whole group. 9, 10. I'm taking part of this last group. Not the whole group, because that would be 12, and I don't take 12. I only take 10. Michaela, what do I do with those 10 10 rods? What do they become?
100
Flat. Good. 1/100 flat, because there are 10 rods in 1/100 flat. Okay, Michaela, what should I do with these regrouped 10s so I don't accidentally count them again? Should I add them? I don't want them. I need to show they're not there anymore. I traded them. So what should I do to show that they're not there anymore? Cross them out. Only the circled ones. These uncircled ones, I am going to leave alone. Okay, Michaela, now what do I do? So I counted the 10s. I had too many to fit in one place, so I regrouped them. I have these 2 left. What do I need to do with them? I just have to count the 10s that are left. So count with me, count on your own paper, and I will keep up with you. Everybody else, look at your own paper, keep up with Michaela. Carla, please don't play with the camera. Ready, Michaela? Okay.
2.
There are 2 oh, are there only 2? I did it again. What did I do again? Zadie?
You forgot to add your regroup.
I forgot my regroup 10. So Michaela, let's try again.
1, 2, 3.
There are 3 left. Can I fit 3 in the 10s place? Yes. Okay, am I done? Aaron, am I done? No, because even though my factors only had digits in the 1s and the 10s place, does that mean my answer is only going to have factors in the 1s and 10s, digits in the 1s and 10s place? No, because what should I always check for after I count the 10s? Hundredths. Do I have hundredths in this problem?
Yes.
How many, Aaron? 1. So what do I need to do with that 100?
Add to
Not add it, because that would mean I'd be taking 32 and adding 100, which may work in some cases, but won't always work. So I don't add it, what do I do with that 100? Who can help her out? What do I do with that 100? Smith?
Regroup it to the product.
Well, I move it, I put it in the hundredths place, because regrouping makes me think I have to trade or exchange or change things out. Do I have to change anything out? No. So I'm going to take that 100 and I'm going to put it in the hundredths place, because can I put 1 in the hundredths place? Yes. So that means 3 times 44 is what, class?
132.
132.
132. Okay, go ahead. I decided this earlier. It is Halloween. I'm not going to give you a quiz today. Your quiz will be on Monday. So, you have the next, because I know models take a while. Where's my phone? You have the next, whoops, I don't need the camera. 45 minutes. No, not 45, because I don't want to, let's see, what time is it in 45? Oh, yes, you have the next 45 minutes to do your independent practice and the front only of your homework. If I see you working on the back of your homework, you will get a 0 for your homework grade, because that is cheating. Remember, one form of cheating is working ahead. You may think that's not cheating, that's just not following the rules. That is cheating, because everybody gets the same amount of time to work on things. If you give yourself more time than everybody else, that is cheating, because it's not fair. Cheating is doing something that gives you an advantage over everyone else. So if you are giving yourself more time than everybody else, you are giving yourself that advantage. That is cheating. Okay, so you have 45 minutes to finish the independent practice and to start on the first page of the homework. Do you use the same separate sheet for your independent practice and your homework? Class? No. So once you're done with independent practice, you may come and ask me to staple it right then and there. And if you are actually finished, I will, so that you don't accidentally use it for homework. If you finish independent practice at home, you have to remember to do that. Everybody look at the back. Look at page 232. Numbers 12 through 15, or number 12 through 16 are word problems. You do have spaces to put the factors, so you don't have to write the answer on the line. But you need to show your models on a separate sheet of paper. So everybody right now, use your pencil. Next to the words, apply it on page 232. Right here. Let me go ahead and make sure for numbers 13, 14, 15, and 16, even though it gives you space, and some of them may or may not be basic facts, you are still drawing your base 10 models for 13 through 16 on a separate sheet. Okay, look at the homework. Next to number 1, it says multiply. Draw models if needed. Take your pencil and draw through if needed, which means what do you have to do? Zari.
You have to use base 10 models to show your work on a different sheet of paper.
You must draw base 10 models, not area models, but base 10 models on your separate sheet. So next to right here, next to the practice, wherever you can see it, write Draw all models on a separate sheet. That means if you give me your sheet of paper and your models are right there, I am going to put it in the recycle bin. I am going to make a copy, a blank copy, and you're going to do it again. And you don't even get the old one to just redraw your answers. You have to do it all over again. Does everybody understand that? Yes. Cullen.
And for number 1, you have to do it on a separate sheet because you don't have that much.
Exactly, but I'm telling you right now, there are people in this classroom that are like, ugh, I just don't feel like it, so I'm just going to squish it all here. I can barely read it, but whatever, I don't care. I don't care if Miss Voles has to take 10 extra minutes to do it. If you hand me a piece of paper and there is no sheet of paper with the models attached to it, I will put it right into the recycle bin. I will make you a brand new blank copy, and you will do it again that night, along with your homework that you get on Monday. Do you understand? Yes, Victoria. Yes. Okay, look at page 234. The directions for numbers 2 through 5 say multiply. Actually, these are the directions for numbers 2 through 8 because there are no extra instructions. Do you see how once you get to here, you do not have extra instructions? So that means these instructions go for number 2 all the way to the end, except for vocabulary, of course, because vocabulary is different. So does everybody understand how these are the directions for the entire back page except for the vocabulary? So, what does that mean you have to do for the word problems? Carla?
Draw models.
Draw models. Okay. Cross out. Oh, man. I used to be so good at that. That's okay. Cross out if needed. Add in base 10 because you're drawing base 10 models, not area models. Where are you showing these models for numbers 2 through 8? Where are you showing the models for numbers 2 through 8? Smith.
On a separate sheet of paper.
On a separate sheet of paper. I am not going to add that direction because that direction is on page 233 and it counts for all of them. Again, what is going to happen if you come to me tomorrow, if you turn it in on Monday morning and there is no extra sheet with models attached? What is going to happen? Aaron. I am going to put it right into the recycle bin and I am going to give you a completely blank page for you to do again that night. Do not give yourself extra work by trying to give me extra work. I have enough of it. You have enough of it. So, if you don't try to give me extra work, I will not give you extra work. Do you understand? Okay. You have until 10:15 to complete all of the independent practice. Where do your models go, class?
On a separate sheet of paper.
On a separate sheet of paper. Be neat so that you can read your answers and I can read your answers. Use as many sheets as you need to, but be sure to use the backs. Use your colors to help you with the 10s and the 1s. And that's all I can think of. Don't forget to move your answers from your separate sheet to the math book pages. Does everybody understand? Any questions? Carla, do you have a question?
It's not a question, but I was going to let you know that my mom needs to know how many kids is in the classroom so she can drop off the candy bags.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's see. There's 11 total, but 3 of you are at home, so there's 8 in the classroom. But there are 11 total kids with you guys. Yes, Kingston.
We can sharpen our color pencils.
Yes, you may sharpen your colored pencils when you need to. You don't have to ask me. Colored pencils only. because we're not going to spend every morning sharpening every colored pencil. That's why it's not a routine to do it in the morning. If you need to sharpen your colored pencil, you may. Just make sure nobody is back there. You don't have to ask me. As long as nobody's back there, you may. Remember, we only use the black sharpener for colored pencils because they clog up the blue one. Okay. You have until 10:15. That's 43 minutes. That is plenty of time to get all of your independent practice done and maybe even the first page. Make sure you're focusing.